What is up, guys? Grobs here with a video. First video of POE 2 early access. Obviously not a build guide. I just want to show you guys what I'm doing, what I'm planning, what's worked, what hasn't worked, because we figure it out as we play the first day. And for me, it's always poison. Poison's the go-to. So I'm going to show you. I'm a pathfinder. I'm a poisoned pathfinder, level 37. Played around with all the skills I have. I've even tried poisonous concoction on the pathfinder tree. I might just show you a bit of gameplay real quick, so you can see what I've worked towards and what's working. It's getting smoother every level. It was a bit rough at the start of the game, but as we got some synergies going, it became pretty good. So, at the moment, I'm using Gas Arrow and Toxic Growth. Gas Arrow is essentially just it's a poison cloud. It just does a lot of poison damage. But all I want it for, ideally, is to make that poison cloud and to stack. See how the mob has 3 stacks of poison on them? That's the max we can have at the moment. So I'm purposely not doing damage now, by the way. I'm just showing you what I'm trying to use. So gas cloud. Now our damage dealer is this. Toxic Growth. When you use Toxic Growth, it shoots these things. If you don't have anything to proc the poison on them though, this is what happens. They just sit there. And all that does damage is the actual arrow that hits the mob. So it does nothing. But if you find mobs, so watch this, I'll just shoot it, doesn't do that much damage. But if I now use my poison cloud, let's get a mob here. Toxic Growth, poison cloud, it explodes them with poison damage. And that's where our damage starts to ramp. And then it proliferates. So I've got proliferate as a pathfinder. Our poison damage proliferates from our ascendancy, which I took first because I wanted to test it. And this has felt really good. On bosses, it feels really good because we have burst windows. So if I just put down a few poison clouds here, I can just spam Toxic Growths in this window and it will just keep exploding. I'm trying to not hit the mob. Oh, here we go. Here's a mob. Poison clouds on him. And then essentially I'm just going to throw down over and over again. Every now and again you have to throw out another gas cloud to prop the explosions. But it's worked really, really well. Once again, not a build guide. We're figuring stuff out, but this has worked pretty well. I'm just going to go to town. I'll show you guys what I did early and what the plans are moving forward for skills and skill tree once it loads. Sorry if my voice has gone too. It's been like a 24-hour day. I'm tired. Talked a lot. So first node I grabbed, I actually tried Poisonous Concoction, and it looks like it's going to be really good, but the problem is it uses Mana Flask in PoE 2 compared to PoE 1. And in PoE 1, if you had a Poisonous Concoction as a skill, and you ran out of Flask charges, you could still throw. You literally cannot throw the skill, so you can't use it at all if you don't have Flask charges. So we can't sustain Mana Flask yet, so I dropped it for Proliferate, which has actually been really nice. Just for clear, because you can group mobs really well in PoE 2. The other thing with Poisonous Concoction is just something to note, and we are probably going to play around with it later, is as much as it is unarmed damage, you can use weapons with this skill. Like it's not the same as it is in PoE 1. So you can use a weapon with it, which is pretty cool. The plan next is to go for the double the amount of poisons. Essentially, I'm just trying to stack 8 poisons, and the only way we can do that is as a pathfinder. You grab double the amount of poisons you can have. You can have 1 base. You can have an extra one up here. So that's 2 base, which becomes 4. You can grab 1 here. 3 base becomes 6. And you can grab 1 on your skill gem called Comorbidity. Plus 1 poison. So we're going to have 8 poisons. We're going to scale duration. Best way to do that without knowing all the uniques and stuff in the game. This is like the old assassin node. 10% increased poison duration for each poison you have inflicted recently, up to a maximum of 100. So it just gives us lots of duration. Our poisons will last long, which works really well for the boss or boss killing. Other than that, all I did was path to poison nodes. A little bit of base attack and blind. Blind is just nice because we're going pure evasion. I'm going to go acrobatics and see how high we can push pure evasion. Acro just lets us evade all hits now instead of just attacks, essentially, and projectiles. It's everything. We're going to push into more flask nodes if we go for Poisonous Concoction, but we're probably not. So I simply started going down for some movement speed. I went up through the flask nodes. I rushed through down to the poison attack, and I've just started making my way up here, as you can see. It started to get really smooth towards the middle of Act 2. Burst started to get good. Damage was good. And Ranger is just pretty smooth because you got a lot of mobility. You can move while you're casting. Now, I want to talk about these gloves real quick. This is a lucky find. If you don't know, they've got a new tag in POE 2 called Magnitude. So if I hold Alt over... here we go. The base magnitude of poison is chaos damage per second equal to 20% of the physical and chaos damage. So normally only physical and chaos damage can poison. You still need poison chance, and 20% of that is taken to do the poison damage as a base. Magnitude, so there's nodes all across the tree, poison magnitude. There's lots of them. That increases the base damage it takes. So instead of 20%, it might be 30 or 40 or 50. It doesn't. It depends what you're grabbing. I don't know how much you're going to grab, but let's just leave it at that. These gloves actually let us do what we used to be able to do in POE 1, where it says all damage from hits contribute to poison magnitude. So all damage means not just fizz and chaos, it means fire, lightning, and cold contribute to poison magnitude. So as long as we have 100% chance to poison, we can use bases with fire. So I got fire damage here, fire damage here. I do have a chaos bow now, but I had one earlier in the game. I had one that just was tri-element DPS. Just lets us scale a lot more base damage into our poison damage. That helped a lot, but they're not needed. I didn't have them for a long time. They were a lucky drop in our group. I got them, and yes, they do give me more damage, but it is not necessary for you to feel smooth. The other thing is we're planning for defense is I'm definitely going to grab the life flasks effect and not removed when unreserved life is filled. For people that haven't played POE 1 and don't know how this node works, when my life gets to full, like right now, I cannot press my flask. My life flask will not let me use it because I'm full life. That node means if I press my flask, it will keep filling until that flask runs out effectively. So the damage, I've not explained this the best, but I'm tired, you understand. My life flask effect is not removed when my life is filled. So it's like perma regen is the best way to say it. Easy way to say it. I'll craft a big flask, it'll have how many thousand life over how many seconds, and that is my regen, which is really strong when you start scaling it with nodes on the tree. Life recovery from flask is increased, and there's a lot of nodes down the bottom we're going to look at grabbing. So I think if we can get to like 90% evasion, we can get res capped obviously, and we can have a lot of regen from our flask. I think we'll be okay. We don't really know yet. We don't know what the end game's like, but this is working. I haven't struggled. All from the mid Act 2 onto now, I haven't struggled. Anyway, guys, we'll keep updating this. I really want to make an awesome poison build. Obviously, it might change. We might change different skills. I really want to try Poison's Concoction too. But I was asked today what I'm doing and how I got through so smooth, because it has been pretty smooth. So I just thought I'd make a video. Appreciate you guys. Thumbs up. Subscribe if you like it for updates. Build's going to be sick. Hope you guys are having fun in POE 2. Thanks.